Have you ever heard about a weapon that could kill a beast? Yes, it was a weapon that is so strong, but it's also intangible. No? Well, listen to my story then. Hello everyone, my name is Joe, and I lived in a tiny village with my grandma. Well, unfortunately, my tiny village was located near the monster's existence. Those monsters attacking our village every single day. They are crawling around, running, scaring all of the villagers in our village. Fortunately, my grandmother was a very well-known monster hunter, and everyone in the village felt so safe when she was nearby. So one day I was kind of curious, how come she was the only well-known monster hunter in our village? Because I've seen lots of people try to do the same like her, but they just stopped. Somehow they stopped. So I asked this question to my grandmother, and she said, "My dear child, every single day I hope that our village will be free from the monsters. That's why I try my best to become a very good monster hunter." Well, at first I kinda confused because how come someone's hope motivates someone to achieve something that is impossible to be done? Anyways, as long as my grandmother was here fighting those monsters, there's nothing to be afraid of. Until my grandmother got sick. So bad, it makes her couldn't stand by herself. She said that I must continue her job, her legacy as a monster hunter in our village. She said she had hoped in me, she believed in me, and she wanted to teach me. Well, at first I didn't want to do that because even though I was her only grandson, doesn't mean that I already killed a monster. No, in fact, I haven't killed a thing. However, I would do anything to make my grandmother happy, so I decided to embrace myself, to encourage myself, to practice all day long with my grandmother to kill all of those monsters. One day, there was a monster came by attacking our village. And so I decided to take my sword, I swing it as hard as I could, but I failed to behead the monster because the monster was just too strong. And then my grandmother forced herself to fight the monster all by herself. And after she won, I told my grandmother that I was sorry, I didn't know what to do. Then she calmed me down and I kept myself strong. On the other day, there was another monster attacking our village. And so I did the same again as yesterday. I took my sword. I swing my sword as hard as I could, but I failed to behead the monster's head again. Because the monster was just too huge. And so my grandmother forced herself to kill that monster by herself. After that scene happened, there were lots of people there saw our fight. And after that, they were mocking me up. They said, "I'm too weak. I don't have the guts like my grandmother. I wasn't strong enough." Ladies and gentlemen, after I listened to those words, I couldn't take it any longer. I was devastated. I cried. I told my grandmother that I couldn't do this no more. You put your hope into the wrong person. And After that, she calmed me down. She told me that every single day she hoped that someday I'll be strong enough to replace her in the future. And she also told me that she wasn't put her hope in wrong person. And after I calmed down, and all of a sudden, my grandmother got sick so bad she could barely stand. And all of a sudden, there were also monsters coming by to our village. And so, I decided to take my sword. And even though there were lots of people locking me up, they said I'm too weak, I don't have the guts, I wasn't strong enough. There was this kind of voice echoing from my heart. It makes me felt energized and motivated. Like it said, if I don't do it, then I won't be able to fulfill my grandmother's hope, so I can be strong enough to replace her in the future. And so I took my sword, I fought for hours, and ladies and gentlemen, I succeed to behead the monster head. Everyone cheered me, thanked me. And thus, since that moment, I realized that someone's hope could really motivate someone to achieve something that is impossible to be done. Few months later, my grandma died, and even though she died, her hope didn't. And I'll try my best to do whatever it takes to protect my village until my village will be freed from those monsters' invasion. Until next time, thank you.